Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is going to discuss on unlocking the true potential of GCCs with AI-led enterprise automation. Let's welcome to the stage Mr. Ramnath Shirabdi, Associate Director, Sales, E42.ai. Let's put our hands together and make some noise for Sir as he takes the stage.
Thank you all for this wonderful afternoon. Thank you for giving us time to talk a little bit about E42 and the value that we are driving with our clients in the market today. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's an honor to be able to speak to this wonderful audience with eminent GBS leaders and industry experts out here. So thank you again. So if you look at if you look at the charter for any GBS leader today, it revolves around 4 or 5 fundamental parameters. How do I cut down my cost of operations? How do I streamline my process and make my process efficient, more agile? How do I actually put in place measures for continuous improvement and embrace digital technologies to optimize my resources? And view GBS as a profit center rather than a cost center? How do I actually hire the best of the breed talent and ensure that I'm able to showcase my value of GBS to all my key stakeholders across? And lastly, more importantly, how do I actually simplify my operating model and provide a superior customer experience and have strategic relationships with my partners? So if you align that thought process with the digitalization initiatives that are happening within the shared service space or GBS space, I think the trend that we have seen in the last 5 years is a majority of GBS organizations have embarked on RPA as the first step towards automation. Well, RPA is a great technology when it comes to automating repetitive rule-based tasks with lower order of cognition. But the irony of large enterprise RPA platforms is you cannot automate any process which has unstructured documents. I'll let that thought sink in for just a second. The irony of large enterprise RPA platforms is you cannot automate any process with unstructured documents or unstructured data. And I can tell you with a fair amount of confidence that every single business process within the scope of GBS, whether it is finance shared services, be it order to cash, record to report, procure to pay, or within the spectrum of HR shared service, hire to retire, customer service, legal, whichever part of the process it is, I think fundamentally they process significant volumes of unstructured documents. That's one thing that we have observed in common. And if you look at data from an enterprise lens on it, almost 80 to 90% of your data accounts to unstructured documents within a GBS, right? So, and anybody in this room who has actually implemented RPA can tell you that you need a machine vision layer on top of RPA to process unstructured documents, which is currently handled by OCR or optical character recognition, right? So the biggest problem that the industry is facing today is the moment you step into implementing RPA and start digitalizing your unstructured documents, you're looking at templatizing thousands of documents, could be vendor documents, contracts, could be bank statements. You're actually training those documents separately, forming groups, and there itself, you're spending significant amount of time and effort, which actually defeats the purpose of automation. So that brings us to the question of scalability. How do I actually scale this, right? Now, second, I think RPA has this horrible thing that nobody talks about, but they talk about it behind closed doors. It is what I call exception discovery, right? You put a bot, you thought everything is set, and then suddenly you realize and say, hang on, there is an exception. And that exception discovery is a killer as far as that journey goes. I think it is also heavily underspoken about in the market that the cost of implementing RPA is also pretty high, right? You need dedicated machines to run these bots. You need 2 sets of licenses, RPA plus OCR. And the cost of manning and maintaining these bots is also pretty high, or it's significantly growing, because you need to have an infrastructure in place to actually scale these bots. So we understood this problem, we kind of understood this gap, and we realized that unstructured document challenge and you know, scalability is what is causing their RPA programs fail or not deliver its committed business benefits, right? So what do? We need to have a technology that is radically more efficient than RPA. So I think moving towards AI or moving towards cognitive is a must. I don't think there's any two choice about it. There's no any two thoughts about it. I don't think clients will ever debate the topic to say, let me start somewhere and I'll think about AI later on. I don't think those conversations exist anymore. Conversations today are all about now, can I put everything together and make my enterprise more intelligent, more agile, and how do I make decision-making automated? I think those are the conversations that clients are looking at. And when we engage with CXOs of the organization or GBS leaders, I think fundamentally we are looking at driving an intelligent automation story across the value chain of the organization. How do we actually deliver or drive a wider transformation journey, right? And today it's not about the number of bots clients are looking at. They're looking at to say which are the areas in finance I should be driving AI or cognitive. What kind of savings am I getting? Is it improving my DSOs? Is it improving my working capital? Is it improving my overall productivity of the work that I'm doing? I think that's the measure that clients are looking at, right? And I think, but if you look at it, if you step back and look at it, right? AI has been there for decades. AI is not a new technology. Everything we speak about, we hear about, and we read about AI, and we get dazzled. I think AI made its origin way back in 1950s, right? But what has changed that has put AI at the top of everybody's mind today, that every CEO, every functional leader, every business leader is looking at AI to take advantage, right? So I think 5 years ago, deep learning was the way to do AI, right? What that meant was, okay, if I have to build a model, I want to do something, I want to build a model, absolutely possible, absolutely feasible from a science side of it, right? What that meant was I needed lots of labeled data, and I had to put people, like 50 to 100 people, to cleanse that data. And then I had to hire a room full of PhDs to actually build a model. And once I built the model, any changes underneath that, I had to restart the entire work. So that's an expensive process. I mean, it's really good, or it's useful if your task is big enough, if your task was meaningful enough. But if you want to embed that in your enterprise, I don't think it's feasible. So I think now we are at a point where with large language models, if I can take data and not label that, the first cost goes away. Second, with brute force training, if I am able to do 1,000 or 10,000 variations within a weekend of work with one person on a laptop, suddenly the business advantage becomes obvious to people. I think that's fundamentally why leaders are looking at AI. So welcome to the age of AI. AI is the mainstream now, and all parts of our business, irrespective of whichever area you belong to, whether you're a finance practitioner, risk practitioner, tax practitioner, a CBO practitioner, or even finance advisory practitioner, all of us have a role to play in this revolution. And we are driving a revolution for a lot of our clients in this space. And this revolution is not sci-fi type stuff. This is real stuff which is either generating cost savings or additional revenue for our clients. And today, with E42, what we have built is a platform which helps you to build AI co-workers to kind of automate your end-to-end business process. It could be across functions, so you can take this platform, apply it across any industry, apply it across any use case, whether it is finance, whether it is to do with accounts payable, accounts receivable, bank recon, or HR, hire to retire, customer service. So we can look at any area, and it's a no-code interface, so we can build AI workers in a span of less than like 2 to 3 weeks. That's the deployment time. Second, I think we also have like a no-code API interface, so any system of record that you can expose a REST API, we can consume that. And it's all omni-channel, so we can look at signals that are coming from various parts of your business, whether it's from vendor portal, ERP, CRM, or your emails, or your chat. It could be a WhatsApp account where you're receiving your invoices or your vendor collaboration happening. So we can integrate with all these multiple platforms. And today, AI is not just limited to one or two technologies. So what we are bringing is an ecosystem of technologies, or it's a combination of technologies that we are bringing together, with which you can select the combination to actually automate a given process. So we are not using OCR. We are not bound by templates. We don't care about how your document looks like. So what we have done is we have taken the principle of visual cues to identify data elements within a document, married that with natural language processing to bring contextualization. And then we have a lot of our clients who do complex validations. So one of our clients does 53 validations before the payment is made. So we built a very robust workflow engine, and it's integrated with our platform. And then we have large language models which takes care of your data labeling problem. And to top it up, we have generative AI capabilities. So if you look at the entire layer of intelligent automation, it starts with intelligent extraction, then you have natural language processing, then you have intelligent machine learning, large language models, all of this coming, and it's a confluence of technologies that are coming together, right? So I think now we are at a point where machines and intelligence of the machines, which are being trained over and over again every single day, can not only perform more effective finance operations, it can also identify anomalies within a document, identify risk within a document. It can actually pick up critical parameters and validate it against various data sources and prevent fraud, right? So that's how profound AI can be. These are some of the examples of the work that E42 has done in the field of AI. We are driving a revolution for a lot of our clients. So typically, all of these clients where we have deployed AI workers, so I would like to talk about one of our marquee clients, Mahindra, where we have deployed AI workers in 3 different functions. It's a project that won the SAP ACE Award in 2019. One of the AI workers is actually predicting part failures in the motors that are running in the Mahindra paint shop. That's an important area because it's a unique use case for Mahindra. Second, we're using AI to actually help employees address the queries related to policies, travel and expense, reimbursements, across 22 business units within Mahindra, so close to about 150,000 employees. And the third area is in the finance, where we are doing the end-to-end accounts payable process. We are actually helping Mahindra to automate this end-to-end process, where we are processing documents to the tune of 150,000 invoices per month. So that's the scale we are operating. We have other marquee names like Hindalco, Ultratech, where again we have automated accounts payable for about 100,000 plus invoices per month. Another powerful use case that I want to talk about is Accenture, where we are helping the talent teams to identify best of the breed candidates by screening resumes, thousands of resumes, matching with the job descriptions, helping the talent team to identify the best of the breed talent. So I think that's a little about the platform and the value that we drive. I'm glad we are done with the slides part. Thank you for the patient listening. I'll just open it up for Q&A if you guys have any questions. I think how many of you have implemented RPA? I kind of heard a few names out. I met a few of them, but if you can show off your hands as to how many of them have actually implemented RPA. Okay, I can see a lot of hands there, okay. All right, so I think, I hope it made sense. I hope it kind of relates with kind of challenges that you guys have faced. And a lot of times when we speak to clients about deploying AI and implementing AI, they want to do something, but the challenge is they don't know where to start. They don't know which area to pick up and which area would be the most meaningful one. So if you guys have any of those challenges or ambiguity, please let us know. We can actually connect, discuss offline. So Yeah, I think that's about it from my side. Thank you for the patient listening. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you very much.